Okay, well, we know that the federal Liberals have announced details of their upcoming leadership race that was prompted by Justin Trudeau announcing his plans to resign.
Of course, that happened on Monday. Here we are on Friday. Now the party's national board says a new leader is going to be chosen March 9th after a nationwide race. Entrance fee for candidates, not cheap, $350,000. The deadline to join the race, January 23rd, less than 2 weeks from today. The cutoff date to become registered Liberal to vote in the leadership race is January 27th. So typically Tuesdays are day to check in with CTV's political commentator Scott Reid. But with all these developments this week with the federal Liberals, well, we wanted to offer up a bonus discussion. So here's your Friday morning bonus. Scott Reid joining us. Scott, good to see you on this Friday morning. Okay, what can we infer now from this, chosen by March 9th, $350,000 entry fee, and a couple of names already in the race? What does that say to you already?
Well, this is going to be a fast and furious process, obviously. I mean, let's start with the headline, which is that on March 9th, there will be a new Liberal leader. That means within days, and they will move. This will not be a 2-3 week transition to install a new prime minister. They'll move within days. And then that fortunate creature will inherit what is almost certain an election when the House resumes on March 24th. That person may choose to never even meet the House. They may just, drop a few policy bonbons and say, let's get to it and hit the campaign trail. They may meet the House. They may try to persuade the New Democrats to somehow reverse course and support them and try to get to the fall, somehow survive. I think that's unlikely. Bottom line is, March 9th, you're going to have a new leader, a new prime minister, and we're probably going to be into a federal election as of March 25th, March 26th.
Wow, what a whirlwind. Okay, Scott, so we know that we have two officially declared candidates. This man Area and Bayliss have officially signed up, but we're still talking about other people, names like Carney, Chrystia Freeland, Melanie Joly, Champagne, Bubbles, as you guys like to call him, Yves-François Champagne. Dominic LeBlanc is out. So, Christy Clark, we have these players. Who do you think is likely going to take leadership of the Liberal Party, and what do they need to do in order to do that?
So neither of the two candidates who have officially declared so far are serious candidates. Let's be blunt about it. I don't want to be uncharitable, but neither one of these people is going to actually succeed, win the leadership, become prime minister. The top tier candidates are this. They're Carney, they're Freeland, Joly, if she decides to enter, that's not a certainty. Her camp will be reviewing the rules released last night very carefully. And Christy Clark, former premier of British Columbia, and she is a crackerjack campaigner. I've known her since the early 1990s. We've been friends since we were kids. And watch out, even though she doesn't speak French, her candidacy could be an insurgent because she will be genuinely running from the outside. But that's my guess. What's it going to take to win? Well, it's obviously going to take a little bit of money. You got to come up with $350,000 scratch just to enter, much more money to reach out to people. You're going to have 2 weeks to sign up new members. I'd like to come back to that because that raises a whole other set of issues. And you're going to have to somehow connect and persuade Liberals, voters, people out there that you represent change from Justin Trudeau. That's the number one criterion. 27 points behind in the polls. That's where the Liberal Party, the Liberal government is, as of today, according to Abacus data, 27 points behind. What's the number one question on those who will be casting a vote for the Liberal leadership? Who could win? Who could reverse this course? Who might give us a fighting chance at being competitive? That's going to be the number one test. Any of these people look like they have a little bit of resurrection magic available to them.
Okay, I want to keep talking federal, but I do have to quickly interject about the province. We've got about 90 seconds. Scott, there was so much talk about Doug Ford calling some kind of snap election in the province, and people thinking this week maybe that's out the window. What are your thoughts on this? What are you hearing?
So great big brains like myself assume that Doug Ford's talk of an early election was gone now, that opportunity, that window evaporated. But I can tell you at Queen's Park, it is buzzing like a hornet's nest. People are talking about the possibility of Doug Ford calling an election even faster than this Liberal leadership. So I know, for example, the opposition parties are moving quickly to prepare for the possibility of a snap election call from Doug Ford as early as the end of next week. That would mean an actual vote in Ontario for mid-February. If that happens, look for the Premier to say he needs a fresh mandate to confront the challenges of Donald Trump, the threat of tariffs, what it might mean for industry and jobs here in the province. But of course, we know that he's been looking for a reason to go, and he really desperately wants to go ahead of the federal campaign. So listen, federal Liberal leadership, a federal election probably as of April, maybe an Ontario election as early as the end of next week. It is politics for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. A true buffet. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh, my. Yeah. All right, let's lock in. Scott Reid, political commentator, always appreciate your time and insight. Have a great weekend.